Hi, welcome to Ear for Fear. This is Rick, and this is the podcast that talks about scary movies or movies trying to be scary. Today, we're going to be talking about 1982's The House on Sorority Row, joined by one of our regular guests, Morris Hoylman's in the house.
Hello, how are you?
What's up, man?
Hey, what's up?
Monster Movie Man 13.
Bing, bang.
Thanks for coming out, man.
Yeah.
You were here last time, and we did Deep Red.
Yes, our Giallo.
Yeah. So before you and I talk this 80s slasher, let's do a quick synopsis. After an innocent prank goes horribly wrong, a group of sorority sisters are stalked and murdered one by one in their sorority house while throwing a party to celebrate their graduation. All right, man. The House on Sorority Row. You recommended this one.
I did.
It's funny, man. Really fast. I don't know why. It's not really important, but it says 82, released 83. So whatever, 82, 83. I don't know. Early 80s, man. This is around the time of the slasher peak, right?
Yeah.
And you were saying this is one of your favorite slashers.
It is. Yeah. I would say it's probably in my top 10. Top 10. Yeah.
What's funny is I remember seeing this, if not all the way through, most of the way through when I was younger.
Yeah.
But dude, it was a long time ago.
Right.
So rewatching this for the podcast, it almost felt like kind of like a fresh movie, like a new movie for me.
Cool.
Even though I knew who the killer was, I was like, okay, I don't remember a lot of this stuff. Some of the stuff I remember like the pool stuff. I remember, but I remember some of the stuff with like the doctor, but again, so it kind of was like, oh, hey, cool. Like a new movie for me, even though
That's cool.
But yeah, man, I mean, I liked it.
Yeah.
I like this movie. This falls in line with the 80s slasher, right? I mean,
it's definitely a better slasher than say like Final Exam or Graduation Day or any of those that are made around the same time. Production value was better.
Yeah, they made this for, I think it was $150,000, and then it spiked up to $300,000. At least what I read. I guess in 82, that's a lot of money. I don't know, man. Look, I've talked about this before. Horror movies are like money makers, right?
Yeah.
If you get a decent horror movie, because you can make them for really kind of a small budget,
cheap, yeah.
Most of the time they make a lot of money. I think this made like 10 million. I mean, if you think about it, 300,000 and you make 10 million, that's a lot.
Money back.
That's a lot of money, So, a decent horror movie, can really get that money back that they spent to make it, and then some. We've seen that with so many over the years,
right?
But anyways, yeah, man. I mean, this is a cool movie. Just definitely spanks of early 80s.
Oh yeah, early 80s. Definitely not mid or late 80s.
No, this I would almost argue this felt almost like 80, 81.
Yeah,
for me.
Yeah, it almost had the same feel as say like My Bloody Prom Night. My Bloody Valentine. Even though My Bloody Valentine was 82, but no, My Bloody Valentine is 81.
Is it 81?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought it was 82.
But it was produced in 80.
It was okay. See, that's what this felt like. That's what this felt like.
Yeah.
You would know.
Yeah.
You would know better than I would. I don't know why for some reason I thought My Bloody Valentine was 82, but it definitely feels like 80, 81.
Yeah.
It's almost like Happy Birthday to Me had almost a similar feel to it.
Yeah.
And I can't explain the feel. It's just an early 80s feel. Well, and anyone watching who's seen all these, they'll know what we're talking about.
Exactly. It's like you compare it to any of say anything from even going away from the genre of horror horror movies, say just comedy, like Meatballs to Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Look at or Zapped. look at the students, what the students are wearing.
Yeah.
They definitely aren't wearing what they wore in, say, like 85 or 86.
Yeah.
Their hair isn't as big. And it's, you notice a lot of the guys are, from the late 70s, their hair's kind of parted in the middle.
Definitely that feathered look.
The feathered look. And the girls kind of have a little bit of a feathered hair or longer hair. But definitely not big hair.
Yeah, because you're right. Because I would almost say, Teen Wolf, Better Off Dead, mid 80s.
Yeah.
It has a different, it still has an 80s feel, but not like what we're talking about with Fast Times.
Or even the later Elm Streets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. But yeah, man, I like this movie. I would put this in a category of some of the better slashers of the 80s, the early 80s.
I love the music.
Music's great. We were talking about this. You said the composer was Richard Band, which his brother is who?
Charlie Band from Full Moon.
Full Moon Video.
Full Moon Full Moon Entertainment.
Okay.
Yeah, so Puppet Master and like all that stuff.
I was looking him up because Reanimator he did, From Beyond, TerrorVision. He did a lot of cool
music, yeah.
Music. Yeah, he did some good music, a lot of cool movies like those. Not huge budget horror movies of the 80s, but the kind of
mid budget.
Yeah, man. But yeah, man, music in here was good. I liked it. I loved the band at the party. Yeah. I don't even remember their name, but oh my God, dude, it just, the whole, I think I was texting you while I was watching it and I was cracking up because the lead singer had that, I don't know what it was, like a scarf wrapped around his neck. Yeah. And that was kind of like the thing to do then. I don't know, man. It wasn't a thing like, say, Pat Benatar did or something.
Even from back in the late 60s to early 70s. Remember the, even like Fred from Scooby-Doo,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of a Leather Tuscadero from Happy Days. I don't know. It just popped in my head.
Dude. Or even like David Cassidy from, Partridge Family.
Yeah, dude. Some of these people were listening going, who the hell are these people? we're dating ourselves here, man. But anyways, man, let's talk about this movie. Let's see.
I would say our main character is probably
Catherine.
Yeah.
Katie. I don't. Yeah, I think her name was.
Her friends called her Katie. But yeah, she is also Catherine.
She's the final girl, right?
Yeah, she is the voice of reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's it's interesting, man. And maybe
full spoilers here.
Yeah, full spoilers. Did you think she was, what did you think? Okay, we're gonna have to really dissect all the acting because some of the acting is not great in this.
Yeah.
I thought Catherine or Katie was okay. At times I felt like she was overdoing it. But
it's one of her first movies, but she ended up being being in other stuff afterwards.
I was looking her up. Yeah, she did a lot of stuff afterwards. Most of these girls did not. This was it for them.
Yeah, well, Harley Kozak, she ended up being in Peggy Sue Gets Married, and then she was also in Parenthood. She was Rick Moranis' wife in Parenthood.
And she was which character in this?
Oh my gosh, I forget. She was blonde-ish. But
blonde-ish. Oh, that narrows it down.
Yeah, she's the first one that got it in the van.
Oh God, I don't remember her name. Was it Liz or
might have been Liz?
Oh God, Jeannie. I don't remember.
Yeah, could have been Jeannie or Liz.
Catherine. I remember she's the main one. Vicky's kind of the bitchy one.
Yeah, Vicky is.
She was the perfect bitchy one. Morgan, I think, was the kind of. She had like the.
She was the dumb one.
She was the dumb one. Okay, she was the first one that
they didn't give her a lot of lines because she was the worst actress.
She was not good. That was like she was the blonde one with the and
she's the only one that did nudity.
Yes, and then Stevie was the one with the perm. I think darker hair. But yeah, man. I mean, Mrs. So let's go through really fast, and then because I'm not going to remember every single one. We had Catherine, Vicky, Liz, Jeannie, Diane, Morgan, Stevie. Mrs. Slater is the house mother. Dr. Beck, and then Peter and Rick, right?
Yes.
Peter is kind of supposed to be this new kind of love interest of like a blind date for Catherine, and Rick, I think, is Vicky's boyfriend.
Yeah.
He's the guy that drives the cool, what was he, like a Corvette or I can't remember what that was.
Oh my gosh.
I don't remember what car it was. Kind of a cool sports car.
Yeah.
You know.
I don't remember.
Did you know that I didn't? So I'd read a few things before watching it. Nothing to spoil it, but that Mrs. Slater, the actor, they dubbed her.
Oh yeah, I knew that. Yeah,
dude, that's crazy.
So she had the look of the bitchy lady, but for whatever reason, she had like the sweetest voice, and they couldn't get past her voice, so they had an actress come in and dub everything and dub her to give her more of a stern, bitchy voice.
That's kind of funny, man.
Yeah, but the funny thing is she had the look.
Oh, she did.
But could you imagine how sweet her voice came out?
It must have been really sweet for them to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting. So when I'm watching the movie, I'm like, okay, I can kind of see
You can tell that she's dubbed.
Not terribly bad.
Not terribly bad.
No, I mean, we've seen some bad dubbing.
Oh, yeah.
But it wasn't that bad.
No.
But yeah, so we have beginning of the movie starts out, it's, I think it's how many years earlier? 20...
Oh, it's so it's 22 years earlier.
22 years earlier.
Yeah.
The doctor's called to this house. We see Mrs. Slater. She's pregnant. The nurse is there. The pregnancy goes wrong.
Yeah.
Basically,
and you're led to believe that that the baby didn't survive.
Correct. Because what we find out is Dr. Beck was experimenting with
women that couldn't get pregnant.
Correct. And Mrs. Slater, she wanted children really, really bad, and it couldn't happen for her. So she tried this experimental drug that Dr. Beck was doing, and it never went right.
Yeah.
The child, the child was born.
All the different women, she was the last woman. And,
correct.
And he's like, oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. And they would
cuts to black.
Yeah. And so then we kind of fast forward to what do you say, 22 years later.
Yeah.
The seven, do you remember the name of the sorority? I don't remember the name of the sorority.
Oh my gosh, no.
Ah, crap. Yeah. I don't remember the name of sorority.
I almost want to say Alpha Sigma Rho, but that's a different movie.
Yeah, no, it's goddamn. I should have wrote that down. No, I don't remember the sorority, but the girls are graduating.
Yeah,
the seven are graduating. They're going to go on to bigger and greater things. Well, supposedly.
Yeah.
And the idea here is they're gonna throw a party.
Yeah.
And they, at this point, they really don't care what Mrs. Slater has to say. Like, it's like, bitch, what are you gonna do?
Well, the funny thing is so. This is what I didn't understand. It seems like, was that not Mrs. Slater's house?
I don't think it works that way.
Okay, so
I'm not positive.
So Mrs. Slater must have lived somewhere else.
No, I think she lives there.
Okay,
so in the sense that she takes a permanent residence there, but it's not like she doesn't own the house.
Okay,
like it's probably the colleges or something,
okay.
Or that's the way I think it works.
Okay,
not positive, but I think so.
Right,
and
she says that she's going to retire.
Yeah, she's going to retire.
They're going to replace her. So I was thinking, well, can they replace her in her own house? But that makes sense now that you're telling me this.
So if she was to retire, then she would no longer be able to live there.
Right. Okay.
And
that makes sense.
Yeah. So, but the girls were, look, it's established right away that they don't care for her.
No.
She's just, there's a lot of things she is. She's stern, she's bitchy,
she has her cane.
She has her cane.
So
yeah,
their cane's always with her.
Correct. But they're always puzzled on why she always closes, like all the other sororities, the house stays open through like a certain weekend, and
they stay open until the end of June, but she always closes it before June 19th.
Correct.
Yeah.
And of course we're going to find out why that is.
Yeah.
And so, I don't know how far we want to go into the whole, Rick and Vicky are, look, man, they're doing their thing up in Vicky's bedroom.
Yeah.
She just bought a water bed.
Oh, but before that, Vicky
and Rick are
like out in the woods, and you would almost think it's the setting for a movie, like a horror movie, but they're in some
No, what the hell that was?
Deserted like house out in the middle of the woods.
Was it a house or a barn or something? It was weird because they had to climb into it.
Yeah, that's true.
So I don't know.
But he's teaching her how to shoot his gun. Yeah, he had his gun, and she was like shooting his gun, and she was actually getting pretty good at it.
She was, dude. It didn't take her but 2 seconds to be really good at it.
Yeah, and she shooting, and it looked like it was maybe a 9mm or something.
Yeah. I don't know guns. Yeah, but and so they're back at the house, and
the girls are partying.
Mrs. Slater comes in on them, and like, what the hell are you doing here? You guys are supposed to be gone. I want you gone tomorrow. And so
they're like, take it up with Vicky.
Yeah, because Vicky's kind of she's the perfect, right?
She's the perfect Regina George. She's the girl that everybody kind of lets them. What am I trying to say?
She bosses everybody around,
right? And everyone kind of allows
almost kind of like the leader, but that bitch. Like, this is what I love about movies like this: how they always properly cast someone. Before I even they say a word, I know Vicky's the bitchy one.
Yeah.
And I know Katie.
She's like the prettiest one, but she's also very, like, you could tell that she takes the reins with the group of 7.
Yes. You could tell she's very promiscuous. Katie is probably the more the wholesome of the ones.
Yeah. The voice of reason.
So she's probably gonna be the final, like man, there's a recipe to these things, right? That's why they work so well, because you can almost, and we've seen so many of them, we can go, okay, we can pick these people out.
Oh, you know what's going on there.
Yeah. And so, Vicky and Rick are doing their thing up in Vicky's room on the waterbed that they just bought. Miss Slater comes in, puts a hole in it with her cane.
Yeah. And she looks like she's going to kill Vicky with the cane. I love some of the shots that they have.
Yeah.
The shots where they cut up to, the cane, because the cane, we have to note, is it's a canary, but the canary's feathered tail, it's in the shape of a canary, but the canary's feathered tail, which it looks like it's cast iron.
Yeah.
And the canary's feathered tail comes down to a long, strong, curved point.
Yeah.
So it could be used as a murder weapon. Which,
well, let's just spoil it. It is. It's going to be used several times throughout this movie as a murder weapon. Yeah. It's a good murder weapon. It's a different type of murder weapon. It's not the ones we normally see. The knives and machetes and all these other things. So it comes into kind of play a lot. And it's supposed to also mislead us as well. It's made to mislead us. It is. And so Vicky's pissed off. I'm going to get you back, and so they're getting the house ready to throw this graduation party, and Miss Slater throws a fit.
She's waking up and she notices her cane's not next to her.
Yeah,
so she
comes down.
Is like, where's my cane? And they're like, go talk to Vicky.
Yeah,
and then she's talking to Vicky, and Vicky put her cane out by the in the middle of the pool.
The nasty pool. I would be if I was them, and let's say I spent 4 years at this university and I'm in this sorority and I could never use this pool because the pool was gross. It was never cleaned. I would be a little pissed off too. And not to mention all the other things I'm sure that she put them through for 4 friggin' years, but the pool is disgusting. And so Vicky and they put her cane on top of, I don't know, looked like an inner tube or something.
Inner tube, yeah.
Out in the pool and
in the middle of the pool, actually.
Yeah, it wasn't like
close to
6 to 8 feet. I'd say from the maybe, I don't know, from the wall.
I would
further out.
I would say probably closer to 12 feet because we'll get into a spoiler here, but in just a moment, even with somebody in the pool, it was still about another 6 feet behind her.
Okay. All right. So they do this to her. She they basically tell her, look, go get your cane.
And then she's like, I'm not going to do it. And then Vicky pulls out her boyfriend's
Rick's gun.
Yeah, her boyfriend's gun and points at her, which I don't understand Vicky's thought process. And this is kind of a little bit of a plot hole for me. As much as I love this movie, it's like, how did she ever think that she was going to get away with, brandishing a gun for even a prank? It's still assault. And B, how was she ever going to think that they're going to put on the party all Mrs. Slater would have to do is pick up the phone, call the police, and have them removed from the house.
Yeah, this is true. This is true because, if the prank doesn't go south like it does, and let's say nothing happens and the prank, we just scared you.
Right.
Yeah, there's no way you're having that party here.
That party is not going to happen. Yeah. So, I mean, what made her think that the party was going to still happen? It's like,
that is a plot hole, huh?
I've always thought that. And the more I, because I watched it once last weekend and then I watched it this weekend again, just to kind of like, because I've seen this movie maybe 20, 30 times in my life. And that always kind of bothered me is, at first, when I first watched this movie, it's just you kind of go with the flow, but then you start thinking about some of the logic and it's like, what made Vicky think that she was ever going to even live there anymore? It's like, you're gonna be exited.
Well, they're graduating anyway, so she was going to be gone anyway. So I don't think that's really, I think it's more so
having the party.
Yeah. Because that party wasn't going to happen.
Yeah. Because I guess they had low funds. They couldn't have it at some bar or some place or
probably some place. Yeah. Some place they rent out. Who knows?
They said that, the lack of funds, and that's why they weren't.
But don't you get that? I always kind of, and maybe this is just a stigma that sorority girls have come from money. Not all of them, but some of them, right?
Yeah, you would think.
I don't know, because one girl says she just got a new car. I don't know. I get the impression that Katie's mom is kind of hoity-toity. So I don't know. I mean, it works in the sense of, we need this party to be here at the house. So it all works. I mean,
it's a plot device.
Yes, exactly. But
just to get us through our story.
Yeah, but the prank goes bad.
Prank goes bad because Vicky's first she shoots like a
I forget what girl it was.
Well, she shoots. There's a real bullet in the gun, and she shoots out the light. One of the lanterns out there
near the pool. Yeah,
and then the girl's like, Vicky, it's not funny anymore. And then she's like, give me the gun. And then they both act like she shot her friend in the leg. And
very convincing.
What's that girl's name?
I don't remember which one it was. Was it?
She's not Diane.
Dude.
Maybe Liz.
It's not Stevie or Morgan. It's either Diane, Jeannie, or Liz.
It's Jeannie.
Is it Jeannie? Okay.
Jeannie.
Dude, I wish I knew all of these.
Yeah. I think Liz was the one that got attacked later.
Okay.
We'll just leave it at that.
It looks like one of them is shot. It's believable.
Yeah.
But it's just a blank.
And then you can see in Mrs. Slater's face that has more of a serious, scared face.
Yeah.
And she's like, get in the pool, Mrs. Slater. And she makes her get in that nasty pool. Well, then they go to shoot Mrs. Slater again. And Mrs. Slater, they fire the gun off at Mrs. Slater and it goes off, and then they start laughing because nothing happened. They all realize it was a blank. Okay. And some of the other girls weren't in on the joke between Vicky and Jeannie.
There's only a couple, two of them, right?
Yeah. It was Vicky and Jeannie that were like, haha, we fooled everybody, because at first they were like, prank, and they're not quite sure how far the prank was going to go. Then they're like, they pointed the gun at Mrs. Slater and pulled. That's how Brandon Lee died with a blank and a gun.
Yeah.
And it was like fragments of the blank.
Yeah, saying something like that. Yeah.
So that's not funny. You know, I mean, like I said, I had a lot of fun with this movie. It's one of my favorites, but that's just not funny. There's no ha-ha out of that prank.
No.
And then to think that her ass could be in jail,
Oh, yeah.
If it didn't go south. So it goes south because Mrs. Slater, she didn't take no shit. She somehow 6 feet behind her, she grabbed her freaking cane. And that's always been kind of a thing that bugged me too. It's like, how did she, she's an old lady. She's in her thick bathrobe. It's like a thick terry cloth that absorbs water kind of bathrobe. How did she go 6 feet behind her, grab that cane enough to swat Vicky on top of the head?
Yeah.
And then Vicky's getting hit on the head. She accidentally pulls the trigger, and I guess a live round went off and hit Mrs. Slater.
Yeah.
Which was also another thing that always bugged me is like, where did it hit her? You never see any blood.
No.
But I guess they just didn't want to bother with that.
Yeah, and I don't know, man. I don't know if it's just they did it. Was it intentional?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, we know it comes into play, because if we don't see blood, then as this movie progresses, because we think she's not dead. She's not dead.
She's not dead.
Yeah, it's Mrs. Slater that's knocking off the girls one by one, because I mean, we're led to believe that. And so I guess
she goes down into the pool. They like jump into the pool to grab her and get her out of there. So it's almost like a drowning victim.
Yeah.
They want to make sure her mouth didn't fill up with, or lungs didn't fill up with water. They're grabbing her out. They're all around her. They're all like treating her and then trying to give her mouth to mouth. Well, Katie's like the voice of reason. Let's call an ambulance.
Yeah.
And I can't, for me, looking at this movie again, how can 6 other girls think that that's not a good idea, that they're going to get into bad trouble? I can understand the trouble, but to save a person's life, okay, did they really think this thing through? Because it's like, A, what are they going to do with the body?
Yeah.
And B, what, you're going to keep that on so that you can have your party go on?
Pretty much. Well, I mean, they said, look, she doesn't have any family, so no one's.
But they're really, like, we're talking within 30 seconds. They're coming up with a plan.
I think it's well, like I said, man, it's I think part of it is like, let's see. We just graduated.
Yeah.
So we have our whole lives to and we don't want this to
ruin the rest of our lives.
Yeah. And it's like, okay, is anyone going to miss her? Look, dude, you and I, yeah, absolutely. Oh, holy shit. We got to call someone now.
Yeah. I mean, even worse comes to worse, you change up your story a little bit about the gun, that, you pulled a prank. She fell in the pool, something, but
yeah,
got to call the ambulance, man. They could possibly revive her. Chances are, and the funny thing is, we'll never know. She could have been alive.
She could have been alive.
And they fucking weighed her down to go back down into the pool. And they're just basically, they're killing her again.
At what point do we see Katie looking up into the attic? When is this?
Oh, when they're formulating their plan.
Okay.
Before they actually pull the prank. She looks up at the window. And it looks like someone closed the window.
Yeah, yeah. And then I think we're led to believe it's Mrs. Slater.
Mrs. Slater looking at them.
We see her up there in the attic, and so yeah, man. I mean, dude, all of this could have been avoided, but for the sake of the the movie,
to press the plot device to push the movie further, and so we can have a horror film.
Yes,
exactly. It's
because I mean, really, is this all right? If Katie calls the ambulance and they come out and they revive her, we have no movie.
Yeah, we have no movie. Girls get arrested.
Maybe.
No party.
Yeah, definitely no party.
There might still be some slashing.
Could be some slashing.
But you never know.
Yeah. But, for the sake of the movie, we gotta, all this stuff has to play out the way it plays out. And really, I mean, does this not kind of spank of really any kind of slasher-ish or 80s horror movie? Yeah. I mean, it's, it's stuff we've seen before, maybe not exactly, but it's stuff we've seen, you know? So yeah, man, I mean, they're, I don't know. I mean, some of them are feeling bad about it. Some of them I don't know. I guess for the most part, I was thinking about this. I mean, at the party, most of them seemed like they felt remorse about it.
Like that was weighing on them.
Yeah.
It weighed on Katie the most.
Yes. And Katie's our final girl. So yeah, I mean,
she was sitting on the balcony. She's, something we forgot to add was, Vicky was setting her up on a blind date.
Yes. With Peter.
She said, don't worry. I got you a blind date for you. She goes, what are you talking about?
And the thing is, Peter, because, the way they play Peter off.
Oh, yeah. Well, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
We'll get to that. No, let's not mention that yet.
Okay. But, so, I mean, look, I mean, really, this boils down to the party, right?
Yeah. So we're parties in full swing. The band's there. There's shit ton of people.
There's a ton of fucking people there, dude.
Yeah, to where, it's a big party when you can't even walk in your own house where you have to squeeze through people. Yeah. It's almost like a tight club.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there was a lot of people there. And man, a lot of people wanted to fuck around with that shitty, nasty pool too,
Yeah.
Like some party goers that were like, trying to mess around with the pool.
Well, there was a couple scenes, right? There was two guys trying to throw in one of the girls, one of the seven, into the pool, and then three dudes in their tidy whities.
Oh yeah. Well, at first, let's talk about the guys trying to throw the girl in the pool. So they're trying to throw her in. They stop that, and then one guy's like, nah, and he like threw a different girl in.
Yeah, pushed someone in.
Yeah, Diane.
Was it Diane?
She ended up getting in, which fucked up her dress, fucked up her makeup. And Lisa was watching this, my wife, and she's like, that's kind of shitty, that there's no way that those guys wouldn't be ejected, it's like
true, but it's
an 80s movie.
Again, yeah, it's 80s.
There's suspend some belief.
It's college. We're having a party. We're drinking, dude. It's just whatever, man. It's like the three dudes trying to jump in their underwear.
Right. So they tell Stevie, which is one of our girls, let's go down there and turn off the pool lights just in case. Yeah, someone tries to flick them on or something. Let's shut them off in the fuse box or whatever. So this was another thing that has bugged me throughout the years. Okay, so you see the size of the pool. You see the size of that little pool house that's behind them.
Yeah,
it's almost like a little pool house, maybe where you change. Maybe might have like an area where you could probably maybe eat inside there or something.
Maybe honestly, I don't remember it so much.
Yeah, it's a little area in there, and so Stevie's going down underground. She's like walking downstairs.
Yeah, she's going to the basement.
Yeah, to the basement of. Now, is it of the house?
I think it's the house.
Oh, it is of the house?
I think it's the house.
So for some reason, I thought it was in that pool house. And
no, I don't think so.
Okay, so it's our actual main house.
Yeah. That's the impression I got. It was the main house.
Even still, it's weird wherever they film that area, it's creepy as fuck.
Yeah.
Down there. But did that not look like some sort of like big mega cylinder that she's walking up against? It's like, how would that be underneath the house?
True. I think what I had read with this, and I don't know is they filmed a lot of stuff at different locations because it didn't have what they needed. Like the bathroom scenes.
Yeah.
That wasn't even filmed at the house because it didn't have that type of bathroom.
Right.
So I think what you're seeing is just different locations, that stuff that may have worked. But I agree with you. That thing was huge. It looked like some sort of commercial building,
or like some sort of power plant.
yes,
right. Yeah. Like almost like you'd see some guy in a hard hat there, like checking the temperature of the big cylinders down there.
True. Yeah.
But yeah, to suspend. I know I'm overthinking this, and I'm probably more in line with something like.
You've seen this a lot.
I have seen it a lot.
I've seen this 1.5 times.
So I've missed this so many different times. But then I started when you watch it enough, it's like, fuck, that doesn't logically make. But
the more you watch a movie, that's how I am with certain movies. I've seen them a lot of times. I start getting more nitpicky.
Yeah,
it doesn't mean that we don't like the movies.
I love this movie. Yeah, it's just doesn't make sense. I know what they were going for at the time.
I'll tell you this,
because it was creepy.
It was, and I'll be honest. Probably one of my favorite kills.
Yeah,
and we don't see anything other than shadows.
Oh my god, just the little bell ball that it's got the jingle.
Yeah,
the ball that comes rolling up to her.
Yeah,
that was creepy.
Yes, and then the fact that we see the killer grab her, and because. I think prior to Stevie dying, we see one of the guests die out.
Oh yeah,
in the tree.
So let's get
backyard
to that
or something.
So Mrs. Slater's robe is being wrung out. You see hands wringing it out, and then hanging some of the towels and stuff on tree branches that are like kind of waving in the wind. And then you see because the cane was thrown in at the same time.
Yeah.
And then the cane is there, and you're suspecting that, Mrs. Slater woke up out of the pool and got out of the pool and she's wringing her shit out. And
yes.
And then one guy's back there drinking beer and he looked like he was a little bit out of place, like he was in the wrong movie.
Yes, almost seemed like he did.
He almost looked like he should have been in My Bloody Valentine.
He did, like one of the workers.
Yeah, like one of the guys that would be, like hanging out.
Dude, totally, man.
But anyway, he's like looking for some dude and then pretty cool kill. The cane through the neck.
It is a cool kill. Watching it was a little cheesy. Like you could tell
there was one shot where it was a fake dummy.
Yes.
And then there was the next shot was a guy with a prosthetic in his neck.
Yes. But you know what? It look, man, I expect stuff like this.
Yeah.
And it's okay for me. Like it's you could tell.
Yeah.
It's not great.
Savini didn't do this one.
Yes, Savini did not do this one. It reminded me a bit of I don't want to get into it, but like Mother's Day, like the scene at the beginning where the guy's head gets chopped off and then it cuts away and then you can clearly tell it's like not real at all.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. But I'm okay with stuff like this,
charm.
Man.
It's got charm.
It's a result of that time.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with it, man. I'm fine with it. But yeah, it is a cool kill, man.
Yeah.
I kind of felt bad. The guy didn't deserve it. He didn't do anything wrong. He just happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Which is kind of weird. It's like I want to say that's the only kill that wasn't weighed, like or earned.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, the girls deserved. I mean,
yeah.
Okay. Let me rephrase that. No one deserves to die, but I mean,
but if you're linking all the kills to people that did the prank,
yes.
Then, or that were involved with the prank, then yes, in that scheme of thinking or that line of thinking, no one else but those 7 girls should be involved.
There's justification there, somewhat,
because we don't see another party goer get killed.
No, we don't.
There was tons of people to kill.
Oh God, there's tons. Yeah, man.
There could have been more kills, but
maybe. I don't know, man. It could have just been simply, like I said, he was just
wrong place in the wrong time.
Wrong place, wrong time. He got it through the neck, and then really everyone else and the doctor get it because they kind of
deserve it.
Kind of deserve it
in a weird way.
In a weird way.
Yeah.
In an 80s slasher way.
In a linked way.
Yeah. But Stevie gets it. Like I said, man, I dig this kill. This is I'm okay with kills like this. This could have been just a kill. Hey man, we're going over budget. How can we get creative?
Yeah.
And it works.
It does.
It works. So Stevie's gone, and oh man, and some of these other ones, I'm trying to remember how some of the other kills go because I'm gonna get some of their names wrong. It's like I
want to say the next one would be Morgan.
Is Morgan the next one?
Yeah. So there's
Morgan is the little Jack in the Box, right?
Yes.
Because she's the really bad actress.
She's a bad actress.
She was bad.
So we have Katie at the party and Peter's trying to comfort her and she doesn't want to dance. She's just, and she's just not feeling it. But she's there at the party.
Like they all are at the party, but I don't feel like any of them are really into it.
No.
Like this is what I kind of dig. Like in most situations like this, especially in the 80s, Vicky, who's the bitchy one, would feel no remorse.
Right.
Would not give 2 rats ass about this. I mean, we've seen it in so many movies.
Oh, like in Prom Night, the bitchy girl in Prom Night, she was such a bitch.
They just don't care, right?
Yeah.
But the difference here, which I kind of like, is that Vicky does have
you could tell in her
she
face.
hated Mrs. Slater, but she has like remorse that this happened and this went bad. And all of them kind of feel this way. Like I almost thought they would be at this party and half of them would just be getting hammered and having a great old time and whatever.
Yeah.
But no, they were all feeling bad.
Yeah. And Morgan ends up calling it a night and she goes upstairs because she's not feeling good. And then she has to get undressed. She's the obligatory naked girl. Because you always have to have at least one.
Oh, you have to have especially an 80s slasher, man.
So she gets out of her clothes and full on naked, and then puts on a nightgown, sexy nightgown, mind you. It
Yes,
wasn't even
like a see-through, like
wasn't even like something that you would hang out with your girlfriends. It's like what you put on if a guy's coming over to her house, like her boyfriend's coming over.
Yeah. And I think does she hear something on the balcony?
Yeah, so she goes out there and she sees the little music box, which it's weird. It looks like a Jack-in-the-Box, but the lid opens up, and instead of a Jack-in-the-Box jumping out, it's like a little Harlequin clown that spins around. Yeah. And it's got a creepy little children's tune that goes along with it.
Yeah, which is going to come into play later on.
It will.
Spoiler. And she she gets it through the stomach. Does she get it through the stomach?
She does. Oh, wait.
It's okay if we jump. If we don't get him in order, it's okay. I thought she got it through the stomach, though.
Yeah.
Like through the curtains. Like she's on the balcony, and then the killer comes through the curtains, and she gets it, I think, through the stomach.
Yes.
I think.
And then, yes.
And who is that? That's Morgan.
That's Morgan.
So Morgan's
and
gone, and Stevie are gone. I'm crossing them out because it's hard to remember.
And then Katie's looking for Morgan. She's like, "Where's Morgan?" And then I can't remember who says that she went upstairs.
Yeah.
So
I always love in these movies that there's never any remnants of blood or any sort of struggle or
there
anything.
Should have been blood there.
I mean, there's never like they always do a damn good job of cleaning that up. I'm like, Jesus. I mean, could you imagine like how long it would take? But for the sake of the movie, it's like it's never there.
No. She must have bled on herself and then he removed it,
Yeah.
So she's gone.
I don't know.
Katie jumps up there to Morgan's room, looks out on the balcony, doesn't see the music box or Morgan or anything.
Nothing.
But then, it's funny. Morgan's room in the closet had access to the attic, but also Mrs. Slater's room had access to the attic.
Yeah, that is kind of weird.
So both rooms had access to the attic.
That's strange, right?
Yeah.
Like, is that a thing? Or is that just for the sake of the movie?
Sake of the movie.
Yeah.
Which is, when you think about it, some of your closets in newer homes have access to the attic, but it doesn't have the full-on stairs that come down and all that stuff.
No. Most of the new houses don't have that.
Yeah.
But it's important because the body falls from the attic and when it lands on... Right, this is before.
Yeah, this is Katie's in Morgan's room, and she's like in the closet, like looking like through the clothes, isn't she? And she's just kind of like chilling there.
I think so.
And which, if our horror enthusiasts out there remember, that scene was almost reminiscent of the first kill in Black Christmas, when the girl was like kind of like looking through her clothes closet, and then the killer jumps out. So I kind of think that they were trying to throw us a curveball.
You think? Yeah.
Almost like she's gonna like look through the Morgan's clothes, and you're thinking, okay, well the killer's, being that she cleaned up the killer cleaned up all the Morgan's body and stuff, that the killer's gonna jump out from the closet and kill Katie too. But no, it looks like the attic is the door is like popping down, and you're thinking, oh, okay, well, maybe the killer's gonna come down from the attic, because the attic door on the ceiling is popping down, and then sure enough, the stairs pop out, and then the body pops out.
Yeah, and we just assume at this point it's still Mrs. Slater, right?
Yeah,
I mean, this is what we assume it's Mrs. Slater, so we got to get rid of this body.
So she gets the girls. And then they're all trying to formulate some plan. It's like, okay, well, Mrs. Slater must have woke up and started going up into the attic, but then must have died again.
Yeah.
Because that's what they were thinking.
It's like, well, yeah, like, I mean,
yeah, it's like, she woke up and then she went to the attic, because I guess maybe they're.
But she was still wrapped up in the thing.
Yeah, she was weird.
So how did she get up there?
She's right. There's no logic to that.
There's no logic to it. Yeah. It makes more sense to if you're thinking about it from their perspective, it almost would make more sense if someone carried her up there because she's still wrapped in.
She's still wrapped. Yeah,
but
but they at this point they don't know if there's anybody else involved or anything. They're just thinking that it's Mrs. Slater.
They have no other reason to believe that there's,
anything else going, any foul play, any weird stuff's going on. So then, of course, they formulate another criminal plan.
I know, right?
This is just criminal.
Yeah, we're going to go dump her body at the little cemetery, cemetery down the road or something.
So let's carry her out, throw her in the dumpster, and then wheel the dumpster.
So fucked up, right?
Wheel the dumpster to the boyfriend's, one of the boyfriend's vans or something, or one of the.
I think it was the girl's van.
Girl's van?
Dude, oh my god, dude, these vans, these.
Oh, from the early '80s.
These are bad.
Yeah,
these are so bad. These vans, man. I think it was one of the girls, because I remember one of the girls said, "You're not putting in my new car," and so it had to be. And I don't remember which girl it was,
but it seemed like her van was like a few houses away or something.
Dude, it seemed like, it was so far away. Yeah. Like I felt like they got the body in the dumpster, and it seemed like forever.
Like it was down the street. Like her van was kept down the street, because there's no way that, it would take that long.
Yeah, I don't know.
So it must have been Diane's van, because she was the person that went to it, right? Yeah,
I can't remember.
Yeah,
I'm getting Diane, and
Diane's the one that was Rick Moranis' wife in Parenthood.
Oh, okay, it could have been her.
Okay.
Then it could have been her. Yeah. And I think it was her van.
Okay.
Shit, I can't remember. I remember her arguing with Vicky and saying, "You're not doing it in my car,"
Right.
And so I don't know, man.
So we get to, I guess we get to Diane, and she's getting into her van, and she's like waiting there for the girls to reach her. And
hold on a second, though. Let me think about this. No, because I think it's Diane's van, but it's not Diane that dies in the van.
Uh-huh.
Diane and Vicky, I think, die in.
Oh no, that's not Vic. That's that's Janie or Jeannie.
Jeannie. Okay.
Because she's the one that did the prank with Vicky. Jeannie's the one that did the prank.
Okay, so I'm getting Jeannie and Diane confused.
Yeah.
And it's hard, man, because I just watched this last night, but there's 7 of them, and I'm like, damn, I'm trying to get all the names right.
I know.
Okay. So then Diane's the one that's gonna.
Yeah.
She goes to the van, and she's the one that gets it in the. She gets the cane through the hand, and then
she gets a cane through the hand, and then it looks like she gets lifted up through her moonroof.
Yeah, something like that, and
like maybe hung.
Maybe, I can't remember. Yeah.
So, and then we cut to our other girls that are through Mrs. Slater in the dumpster, and they're
so fucked up.
So there's
right?
like 3 girls.
Let's just throw her in the dumpster. We're just gonna haul her off.
So it's Vicky, Jeannie, and
Liz.
Liz
is the blonde,
and then they're pushing it, and they end up pushing it into campus security.
This like, okay, so if we're gonna be nitpicky, dude, they were moving that thing super slow, like super duper slow,
and super loud too.
But it hits the police car, and it looks like cars crashed into it.
Yeah,
look, I can see maybe it would break the light,
right?
But it would not smash it in like it did. That irritated me.
So Liz ends up running back to the house.
Yes, and she gets and doesn't she gets attacked?
She gets attacked right before she's about to enter the house.
Yeah,
she gets attacked, and then she pulls off that emergency
little necklace.
Yeah, it's like a medical emergency necklace that Dr. Beck gave to Mrs. Slater.
Yeah, and so she gets.
So we're led to believe that maybe she pulled that off of Mrs. Slater.
Yeah.
And then
you're like, okay, well, who's then who's in the dumpster?
Right. Who's in the dumpster? It's like, because we
know there's someone in the dumpster.
Yeah. So the body's wrapped up, but we never did see who. They didn't look at her face.
No, but you see the shoes, and it looks like they're wearing like nylons, and it looks like an old woman.
But sometimes up. Can dress up. Yeah,
true. For all we know, it could have been Stevie. You wrap Stevie up because she's now dead, and so we got a body in the dumpster,
and then Liz runs into the house, and then she grabs a butcher knife, and then she's waiting there, and then she can't talk really well, and then she meets Peter and Katie.
Yeah,
and she's like, "What happened, Liz? What happened?" And then she's like, "Tact." She couldn't
formulate anything. Yeah.
So Katie and Peter go off. Where did they go?
I don't recall where they went off.
I think just plot wise, it just didn't make.
I thought they eventually got Kane out of her mouth. Like,
yeah,
I thought Katie went outside. So I think, I thought Katie went outside, and I don't know where Peter was at this point.
Oh, that's right, because she's the one that ended up picking up.
Yeah, she picked up the necklace or whatever this thing is,
because it had the emergency number on there.
But at this point, Liz is. She's running off. She's scared. Like, right. Something is, I don't know if she's being chased or what.
Through the house.
Yeah. But then she ends up in the bathroom. Why do everyone always go into the bathroom stall like it's going to save you?
I don't know.
Like, dude, if I'm a killer, that's like one of the first places I'm looking for you.
Yeah, is in the
because you're going to be standing on the toilet.
Yeah, you're going to be standing on the toilet.
I can get you because I can go under. I mean, I don't know, man. I've seen it in so many damn movies.
So she goes in the bathroom, and then of course the showers kick on, where it's it's really foggy in there. It's got a lot of steam.
Duper. Yeah, a lot of moisture, man.
A lot of steam. Like right away too.
Right away. It's just dripping off of the bathroom stall doors.
And that wouldn't happen. And unless you got to give it at least 20 minutes.
Yeah. And again, really what, other than the fog or the mist or whatever you want to call it, what
was the point of that?
What's the point of it?
Yeah. Unless they're making some, something in the.
Yeah. I mean, it's not that the kill on, she comes out of the stall, she gets it right away. This is a cool kill.
Yeah. And she's hiding there with the knife.
Yeah.
But she gets the knife taken away from her, and
dude, she opens the door within like a half second, it's gone, and she's dead.
Yeah, the knife's being raised up to her neck, and she's being pushed up against the wall.
I will say we see her later on. And
that's pretty cool.
This is pretty cool. We can talk about it later, or we can talk about it now. It doesn't matter. But we see her later. But so now we only have Vicky, Jeannie, and Katie left.
So let's talk about the party. The party at this point is like kind of winding down. There's like not as many people there.
No, dude, they close. I want to say, I think it was around 1:32-ish. I think I think so, because I think when they ran into the cop says you're taking out trash at 1:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
Something like that. So the party's dying down, at least in the sense of at the house. I think people are going elsewhere to party, going to bars and stuff.
So the house is becoming empty.
Yes.
Because as crowded as it was, there's not a lot of witnesses to mayhem.
I would argue no one's there anymore. Yeah. They're all gone. Peter's still there because Peter's had a little to drink, but again.
Oh, that's where Katie went. She went back up into the attic.
Okay.
Remember?
Oh, and then
that's where she noticed the bird was, the dead bird.
Oh, that's right.
Because she was like thinking to herself, like, well, why was Mrs. Slater trying to come back up to the attic? And then she's like looking around. You could see a lot of little boy stuff up there.
It's very eerie, right? This attic is very uncomfortable. I don't.
Well, the weird thing is,
I don't like the attic at all.
It looks like whoever lived up there was like lived up there and as a secret, but it wasn't even like a good secret. It was like a dirty secret. Like there's like wallpaper, but the wallpaper's kind of like torn.
Yeah.
And it looks really drab up there, but there's a lot of little toys up there. Mm-hmm. And then she notices a 9th birthday card,
It was it was a 9th birthday card?
And it looked like to my baby son, Eric. And she noticed
from mother or something.
From mother.
Yeah.
So Mrs. Slater had a boy.
Well, see,
or maybe in her head, if that child lived.
Correct, because Dr. Beck later on says no, she thinks that she had a,
Oh yeah,
because Dr. Beck's still trying to save his ass, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's because he's the reason for what we're going to find out in a bit,
right? So Dr. Beck, they did cut to scenes with him earlier on in the film to where it's just him looking at brain scans and saying that,
and he's concerned about Mrs. Slater,
like
she could flip out, and this is where
he says he goes. No traumatic, activity within the next 3 months. It's very crucial because the person can snap.
Yes.
And he kept saying the person can snap. But I did notice he slipped when she was visiting him in the beginning, when she came to the hospital.
Oh, yeah.
He did say he.
Oh, did he?
And I think it's like you hear it, you and then it'll pass you. I mean, if you hear it at that moment, or if you're not looking for it, he did say he.
I don't recall that. So yeah, so that's possible.
We're led to believe that this is Mrs. Slater, going to, because we're led to believe that the baby died.
Yes, and it just all makes sense, right? I mean, they're laying down the foundation that, that look, if something traumatic happens, she could go crazy. Maybe she never died. People are, it's the cane.
Right.
Look, I mean, if you've never ever seen a slasher or a horror movie, okay, then you would probably go, it's Mrs. Slater.
Yeah.
But we've seen a million of these and we're like, well, it's not Mrs. Slater.
No.
That bitch is dead.
Yeah. But
there's another explanation to this.
But they have some,
and they think
they have some red herrings in here.
They do. Peter is they really portray Peter as like he's always gone when people are dying.
When people are dying, and then so the funny thing is when Katie's up in the attic, and she's just kind of waiting or glancing at all the stuff that's up there. She notices the bird cage, and the bird in that cage is like brutally murdered. It's just bloody.
Yeah, it's bloody. Yeah.
And then, Peter scares her up there. He's like already kind of up there or followed her up there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then he makes a comment that he got on that little, and I think it's a little fire engine or something or
he did. And he said something like, I miss these or something.
Yeah. He goes, man, I sure do miss this.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're like,
oh, absolutely.
You're
man.
like, what the fuck is that? Is that Mrs. Slater's son?
Oh, absolutely. Dude, seeing this for, say, the first time,
yeah,
I could easily go, hey, man, it's Peter.
Yeah.
It's Peter.
Because he's playing it straight. He's acting. I've seen a million of these damn things. It's like Peter's he's like Norman Bates. He's he acts all nice and, and then he's probably like, hey, Katie.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah. Yeah.
But
I mean, so, okay.
Yeah,
so
she's like, let's get out of here. So they both leave.
So, okay. So, all right. So we know Katie calls the doctor.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Beck comes over. In the meantime, I believe Vicky and Jeannie are at the cemetery.
Oh, no.
No?
They go to the van. They go to the van. And they're like, where the hell's Diane? And it's like, never mind where Diane is. And they both, they don't even wonder, it's like, it's her car. But they're like, where the fuck is she? And there's no blood,
Yeah, no blood. Yeah.
So they end up taking the van and they put the body in the car.
And they go to the cemetery. They conveniently find a pre-dug hole.
Yeah. And then they decide to dig deeper.
So they could, yeah. But, we know, I think Jeannie gets it first.
Oh, but let's before that, they're digging that hole. Man, they're fucking wet, mud, dirty. Yeah. I noticed. I mean, that their dresses are sticking to their skin.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Jeannie goes back to the van, but that silhouette, did that not look like Mrs. Slater's hair?
Oh, it did. A little bit. You know what it reminded me of? Psycho, kind of like, it's probably not Mrs. Bates.
Yeah.
But it looks like a wig, but you're just not sure.
It almost reminded me of Madman as well. And then also
the hair from
Andrew from
Funhouse.
Kind of Gunter from Funhouse.
Yeah,
and also Andrew from Hell Night.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah,
how they're silhouetted in the
totally, man.
With the moon, and you can't quite see their face.
It's just a product of its time, man.
And I love shit like that.
Oh, I do too. Yeah,
and I think that's why.
And how did Jeannie get it? Did Jeannie get it through? I remember how Vicky got it, but how did Jeannie? Did she get it through the? I can't remember. Damn, I just watched this last night.
Yeah, I can't remember either, but it was with the cane.
Yeah, right. Jeannie gets it. Vicky's like, damn, where the hell are you? And she
gets out of the muddy hole.
Yeah, she gets out of the muddy hole. She goes to the van, opens up the door. Jeannie basically, falls out. And then, we get this figure and, Vicky gets it, she gets stabbed or slashed or hit or, kind of a few things.
So Dr. Beck gets to the house. Peter's told to leave, but he's just chilling in his car. Do you notice that?
He is. Okay, so what's interesting is, you're thinking he looks He looks like he's a little wasted because there's a scene where he goes, "Oh man, like where am I?" He doesn't say it, but it's that's what he's conveying. Like, "Oh man, I had way too much to drink. I can't." And he's in his car, and I can't.
But he seemed like he was fine the entire time.
He did
up until that moment.
He never felt. I never got the impression he was drunk or hammered.
So you're thinking that they're making you believe, is he playing it up? You know,
or could it be a simply where he blacks out and he wakes up in the car like, oh, like, I don't know, so yeah, it's still on the table that Peter could be the killer,
right? But man, he's in a lot of different places at once.
He really is. But I mean, that's how these movies roll, right?
They do.
I mean, you can kind of go, okay, I could kind of see it, and so Dr. Beck and Katie drive to the cemetery. They find Jeannie and Vicky.
Yeah, they open up the back of the. Oh yeah, they find Jeannie and Vicky in the grave.
And
then they open up the back of the van, and there's Mrs. Slater.
It's Mrs. Slater. She's there, so we know Mrs. Slater's dead. We know Mrs. Slater is not doing the killing here.
Nope.
So if you're
it was Mrs. Slater the entire time. Because
was not. Yeah, she is not the killer. She was dead. She died. Someone else is doing it. Is it Peter?
Yeah, is it Peter? Dun, dun,
is it Peter? I mean, it definitely could be Peter.
So they get back to the house, and he's like boarding up the friggin' house. He's like loading his gun, and then he gives her like a tranquilizer or something that's sedative.
Yeah, dude, he's
using her for bait.
Yeah,
but he blocks off the entire house except for the patio area, so whoever is going to come through the patio.
Correct. Yeah,
which we know later on isn't the only place to come in at.
Yes. And so Peter rolls in and we're like, oh, I knew it. It's Peter the whole time, but is it Peter? He hits him with a tranquilizer.
Yeah.
Katie makes it her way upstairs.
Oh, but before that, Katie's fucking hallucinating like a motherfucker.
Okay. So thoughts on the hallucination?
Mm-hmm. Like it's guilt.
No. I know what it is, and I know why she's having it. Thoughts on it in the movie itself.
Oh, like was it necessary?
I wasn't feeling it.
I think it was like we were talking last week with Deep Red. I think it was just a choice, a device choice.
Yeah,
I think the director thought, it's creepy, but it didn't come off creepy to me.
I didn't find it creepy. I found it kind of unnecessary. I will say this. The one part of it, because there was a lot of different things. The cane was hovering. A man and a woman were dancing.
Yeah.
I will tell you what I did like was all the girls dead standing there.
Yeah.
That I liked.
Yeah.
That I did like. So part of it I dug. Some of it I didn't like. But yeah, she's tripping balls right now, right? But she's not tripping balls where she can't get herself upstairs.
Oh, and something else we forgot to mention is when her and the doctor, before they board up the house, they went back out to the pool, and it might have been before they even went to the cemetery. All the dead girls were in the pool.
That was prior, I think. Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
The girls that were killed so far are all in the pool, which were Morgan,
probably
Stevie, and then Diane.
Diane. Yeah. And so yeah, Katie's upstairs, right? She's going to get the gun.
Yeah. And how did she get away from Dr. Beck?
While he was attending to Peter.
Oh, she ran upstairs.
She kind of got away, and he followed her, of course. But then she gets the gun, and then I think Doctor is attacked, right? Dr. Beck is attacked.
Yeah. He gets it like through the eye.
Shit, dude.
I can't remember now. Shit.
I almost want to say that. God damn. This is terrible, man. This is the result of us getting old.
Yeah.
We literally just watched this. I watched it last night, and
he was attacked lower on the lower level, right?
No, he was attacked on this. I do know it was upstairs.
Okay.
And then he got knocked down off the stairs.
That's right.
Yeah. I just can't remember. Maybe he was hitting the head or the eye or something like that.
Yeah. So she's running. And then she
ends up outside, and then she has nowhere to go except for up to the attic.
So she ends up climbing up the lattice.
No, right? There was like a ladder.
Or ladder. Okay.
Yeah, is that weird? Is that weird?
That is
like there's
weird.
a ladder from the balcony to the attic.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Again, I guess
that seems weird, but
it seems weird to me.
You know, obviously a way for whoever can get up to the attic quickly.
Well, she definitely needs to be in the attic for this climax. So it makes sense.
So, before that happened though, when she looked down, she was like running through the house. Yeah. And before she went outside, she looked down and she saw, you saw that, right? So it was Dr. Beck. He was on the ground. He was obviously dead or dying.
Yes.
And then someone looked up at her and it wasn't Peter.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it
was Jason Voorhees.
Jason Voorhees. I know it was Jason. Yeah.
Which, you know, they made the killer look a lot like like Jason from Part 2.
But okay, so was there a mask on? Because I almost thought there was a mask.
No, like he was a mongoloid.
Just a mongoloid. Okay.
Yeah, I thought he was like a mongoloid. His eyeballs didn't match and stuff.
Again, a lot of mongoloid stuff, right?
Yeah, in the early 80s.
Hell Knight, Humongous. Shit, dude. I mean, we could go on and on.
Mongoloid killers are like, you know.
Fuck, I mean, Funhouse was.
Funhouse, dude, he was kind of a mongoloid killer.
Again, I guess it's like we said, it's kind of the product of that time.
Yeah, they all kind of copied from each other.
Yeah. And it's okay, man. It makes for some good movies.
Yeah.
Not a lot of original ideas, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right. Okay. Now
so he looked up, and that was kind of creepy, the way he looked up at her.
Yes.
So then, she finds her way out. She ends up outside, but she is climbing that ladder to the attic.
Because she can't get, it looked like there was no way off of that balcony, unless she jumped.
And then she had the doctor's gun, right? It was like a regular gun, or was it?
I don't think she
was it. Vicky's boyfriend's gun.
I don't remember if she had the gun at this time though. Did she have the gun up in the attic?
So up in the attic, she's waiting
because she was a terrible shot.
Yeah, she was waiting for someone to pop their head through the attic.
That's right. She gets up in that attic, and then
she's waiting for somebody to show up at the bottom of the stairs of that. From that room up to the attic,
thinking that's the only way in. I will say this, man, and this is what I love. I love tension. This is very tense for me. Like
this was great.
This is great because look, I mean, we've seen so many of these, but when you can execute this the right way, and I feel uneasy because I know something's going to happen.
Like she was just up in that room earlier with Peter, and she was looking at the box, the music box with the little Harlequin doll. Yeah. And then she noticed that there was like a full grown Harlequin costume. She's like, okay, it's some like a big kid or what the hell's going on here? She noticed that earlier. And then, she's holding the gun right next to that costume that she saw earlier. And she's holding the gun at that attic door.
Yeah.
Thinking, okay, motherfucker, you're going to come. I'm going to blast you away. Well.
Yeah, we know
At this point, we see that Harlequin costume head
like
move up because it's like pointed down and it moves up.
Shit.
It's like, holy shit, he's in the fucking costume. And then she's like, somehow she is able to wrestle with him a little bit.
Yeah,
and then
she couldn't even.
I know
the shots was terrible. Like he was 5 feet away and she couldn't hit anything.
Yeah, we needed Vicky there to pull the gun.
Dude, seriously, yeah,
because she was a good shot. After
she was a good shot.
2 seconds,
and then I think there's some struggle, and she grabs like this was like it almost seemed like a doll, and the head was ripped off, and it had like a
So she took the doll out, and there was like a knife in the doll.
Yeah, what the fuck was that all about?
That was weird.
That was weird, right? I guess it's like, I can use this to kill.
And she like poked him in the eye and then poked him in the head.
Yeah.
And he's like making the
And then of course I'm gonna fall down the attic, the opening in the attic.
Yeah, and fell all the way down to the ground. Like of the bedroom that's below.
And look, I mean, we've seen this again so many times. This is kind of a tropey thing, right? Like it's like, well, they're never dead. It's like, like Michael Myers can fall a million times and we know he's not.
She's like just kind of reeling kind of like a Laurie Strode, where she's just reeling from what she just did, and she's just kind of grabbing her breath, and then does she wind the toy?
No, I think she just ends up kind of passing out, dude. Because
because the toy starts playing the music.
Does the toy start playing again? I don't think she wound the toy to get the person up there.
Okay.
And maybe it just kept playing. But she basically, to me, I felt that with the shot that she got and just exhausted and everything else, she just kind of passed out there.
Yeah.
Near the attic entrance. And then, and I could see this, we saw this in Hell Night, right? When Linda Blair's character, passes out in the car
after she and then wakes up the next morning.
And so I could kind of see that, I guess. It's a lot to go through, and she's thinking that he's dead, and of course he's not.
Yeah, because the eyes open up.
The eyes open up, and
then that cut to black.
Cut to black, yeah. And I'm okay with that. Look, man, we've seen it before. It's fine. I don't know, man. I think what has been established in these, especially like we just said, these 80s kind of mongoloids, is that, dude, they're almost superhuman, right?
Yeah.
So you're going to stab them and they can fall, but dude, it's not going to kill them.
Yeah, they could have easily made this another, like a sequel.
Yeah.
But it's funny. There were a lot of these that I think did relatively well, but they never did sequels out of them. I think Friday the 13th was the one that got the sequels.
It's funny, right? Because we've talked about, like, not even during the podcast, we've talked, you and I have been friends a long time. We've talked about some more damn movies and stuff. And there are movies that could have warranted a, My Bloody Valentine comes to mind.
that would set up for a
sequel to that. Absolutely. Other ones, not so much. It's fine. And then there weren't sequels, or some where they did sequels. They're like, why did you do a sequel to that? But yeah, they easily could have did one for this. They could have, who knows, man, they could have got a new house mother, and Eric is up in the attic, and I don't know, man.
Yeah.
To me, I'm fine with no sequel, though.
Right.
Like, it works with no sequel. I'm good with it.
Yeah.
I always wondered, like, is there a certain amount of money? Like, say they made this for $300,000, they made $10 million. That's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
And if you crank these horror movies out, you're going to get your money back and then some. What is like it's like, where's the cutoff? Like, if, like, how did they figure that out? What was the formula? Like, if it made this, we're doing this. I don't know, man.
It's hard to tell.
I don't know. There's some studio head out there, the Robert Shays of the world could say, oh, is this, it's like, did you really think Elm Street was going to do what it did? And then you're going to have all these sequels? We know that Friday the 13th wasn't that.
Yeah.
So...
And I think it only made, what, 35 million or something?
Which one?
Friday the 13th, the first one.
Did it make that? Because that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
For what was that, 81 or 80?
80.
80? That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
That it didn't cost a lot to do Friday the 13th.
No.
It probably cost, if this one cost 300,000, maybe it was similar,
Right.
And so maybe it's okay. Maybe it's 200,000. Maybe it's 150. I don't know. But if it made 35 million, seems like a lot.
Yeah.
For that. But maybe you're right. I don't know, man. To me, those are money makers.
Right.
Did you find it? Did you find what?
I'm looking for it, but I can't.
To me, it's like, if I am a studio head and I own a company, dude, I am greenlighting lots of these horror movies. It's like, here, we're going to give you 200,000, make a movie, and okay, if we get 10 million, that's a pretty damn good profit, right?
Right.
So, and these actors in these movies aren't making squat back then, man.
Oh yeah, so Friday the 13th had a little bigger budget. It was 550.
Okay, that's a pretty good.
So 550,000, and it grossed 39.
That's a lot.
Almost
of
40.
Money.
Yeah.
Dude, that is $40 million. That is 80 per 800. Is that 800%? I'm trying to figure out the numbers on that. It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
that's just. If you think it's $500,000 and it made dude, that is remarkable.
So yeah, they like, fuck yeah, we're gonna make a sequel.
We're gonna crank these things out, man. And that's why you started seeing, and you know this, that's why we started seeing so many movies kind of, I don't know, borrowing from other, you know. Because why not, man? If I'm a Warner Brothers or Paramount or whoever, you know, and I can make it for this and make this damn right, I'm gonna do it.
Oh yeah,
and I'm gonna crank these suckers out, you know. So, anyways, man, anything that we didn't?
No, nothing else I can think of. This played into the formula that I love so much about slashers from the early '80s, but it's.
Yeah, man.
I think pretty much.
Yeah, I think we hit everything. I mean, you know, it's a good movie. I did like this movie. I mean, you know, again, I remember seeing most of it back in the day, but
it definitely deserves to be up there with, you know, My Bloody Valentine and The Burning, and
I would say so. Yeah,
where they're the lesser known ones, but you know, production values better than some of the shittier ones.
Yes, absolutely, man.
But definitely better than Splatter University.
There were a lot of bad ones, right? Yeah. But anyways, all right, man. I guess that'll do it. Thanks for coming on out, man.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it. Anyone, I guess, what is it? Monster Movie Man 13?
Yep. On YouTube, Instagram, Letterboxd. Yeah.
Cool. All right, man. Well, thanks again, people listening. Everyone stay safe, and we'll I don't know, man. You'll hear from us soon. Thanks again for listening. Make sure you tell everyone about our Ear for Fear podcast. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Ear for Fear. You can also check out our website, earforfear.com. There you can keep up to date on news, events, and episodes. You can find us wherever you listen to podcasts. We hope you come back and get an earful.